My name is Lucy. I was 35 years old when I thought I had finally found everything I ever wanted. James and I decided to move in together before the wedding. We didn't have much, and we were proud of that. We rented a small house and filled it with love, one piece at a time. Friends brought a kitchen table. His cousins donated a couch. My aunt gave us a bed frame. Every single object in that house carried a story, a warm gesture, a hug from someone who believed in us. And then there was the chandelier. James's father, Harry, had one sitting forgotten inside a closet. Dusty, unused, pushed to the back like something with no place left to go. When he heard we were setting up our first home, he didn't hesitate. He opened that closet, pulled it out, and handed it to us with a smile. "Every home deserves light," he said. It wasn't expensive, but to us, it was everything. That chandelier hung in our living room and lit up the space where we were building our future. One afternoon, James's mother, Lily, found out that Harry had given us that chandelier. She didn't call, she didn't ask. She showed up at our door like a storm. I will never forget her face, red with rage, her voice shaking the walls. She called me names I am too ashamed to repeat. She said I had manipulated her husband, that I had no right to anything from their family, that I was nobody, and that the chandelier was going back where it belonged. Before I could say a single word, she had already ordered it removed. The electrician came, the chandelier came down, and just like that, our living room went dark. We were left standing there, in the dark, in our own home. That night, Lily called James and demanded he do something. She expected him to leave me. She expected him to choose her. But James looked at me in that dark room and he said, "You are my choice." We got married anyway. Even with his family's disapproval cutting through every celebration, we said our vows, and we moved forward, together. The hurt from that night stayed with us longer than I ever expected. We were married, we were committed, and we were happy in many ways. But Lily never stopped fighting for her son's attention. Every family gathering became a battlefield. Every phone call from her was a test. She was jealous of the time James gave me, jealous that her son had chosen to put his wife first. She found ways to create friction, to plant doubt, to pull James in different directions whenever things felt too peaceful. James and I argued about it more than I want to admit, not because we doubted each other, but because loving someone while their family makes war on your peace is exhausting. There were nights I cried alone. There were moments I wondered if the love we had was strong enough to survive the pressure being put on it from the outside. But James never left my side, and I never stopped fighting for what we had. Years passed, and something shifted, slowly, quietly, the way most important things do. Lily began to see that we were not going anywhere, that no argument, no manipulation, no test of loyalty had managed to break us apart. That James and I, despite every high and every low, were choosing each other every single day. I don't know exactly when she accepted it, but little by little, the friction softened. The phone calls became less loaded. The family gatherings became less tense. It wasn't perfect, it never would be, but it became livable. Even at moments, warm. We had built something she could no longer ignore. A real marriage, imperfect, honest, and unbreakable. And for the first time in years, I felt like we could finally breathe. But then, just when life had found its rhythm, James called me. Not from the next room, from a different life. A life he had chosen to step away into, without warning, without enough explanation, and without me. He said he was sorry. He said he had made the biggest mistake of his life. He said he still loved me, that he had never stopped. That walking away had destroyed him too. He is calling me every day now. He is asking for another chance. He says he is a different man, And here is what nobody tells you about loving someone who hurt you deeply. The love doesn't disappear just because the trust does. I still feel something when I hear his voice. Something warm and familiar and terrifying all at once. But I also remember the dark living room, the years of friction, the nights I spent wondering if I was enough. And I remember standing alone, with no chandelier, no husband, and a heart full of wounds that took years to begin to close. So, I'll ask myself every single night, is love enough to rebuild what was broken? Can trust be repaired, or does it stay shattered no matter how much we want it whole? Is James truly changed, or is history about to repeat itself? I don't have the answer yet, and maybe that's the most honest thing I can say, because sometimes the hardest choice isn't between right and wrong. It's between the love that remains and the peace you finally fought to find.